Afternoon, everybody. This is John, ready for session 2. Forex Fire. USD GPY 5-minute chart scalping, and we're going to look at where we are, and then we'll take it from there, guys. So just share the screen, get that handsome face in that top corner, minimize that. Well, computer's doing all sorts this afternoon. It's encoding loads of videos and stuff. Right, so let's take a look. So I got asked yesterday what would have happened if that 1 minute, we were incorporating the 1 minute with the 5-minute sort of thing. The 1 minute come down and hit. It was a risk to reward of just over 3%. That actually come in and hit. At the moment, we are on 1 o'clock to 3. And I'll keep pausing and whatever else on these videos, okay, as and when we need to find the structure. So at the minute, got a high here, a swing point there. Didn't quite break down from there. However, we're starting to come up and we're breaking structures into these areas. This makes sense. So we've got a lower high as we come down, high, lower high, created a higher high. Okay, as we've created a higher high, we've come in, we've mitigated into that order block beautifully. Okay, so as you've mitigated into that order block, you would have had a trade here, to be fair. You would have went around about 50%. Okay, that would have been your stop just below there. Again, your target area would have been where the higher high was. Okay, so the breakout on the higher high was here. So there's a risk to reward of 1 to 5.65. Again, we would have risked 2%. That would have took you to over 11% gain. We've just missed out on that simply because we are starting from 1 to 3. But this is just showing you the power of this. And we're going to do this structure-wise, not rushing into trades. The sole purpose of these videos overall, everything that I'm doing on here, again, I'm not doing as a live trade sort of thing. I'm just doing these so these will build your confidence and your consistency. You can follow what we do as a guideline based upon a structure of a 2-hour session, implement what I do, excuse me, implement what I do, put it into practice. Then you can make these things like on here. Let's just minimize this because this is what this is all about. Then you can sort of start implementing stuff like this. Make yourself an Excel sheet, and then you can document your findings. Like on the 1 minute scalp, there was 23.84%. On the what's the word? The New York sessions at the moment, we didn't get a trade yesterday. We were probably only going to get one trade a session, to be fair. But again, I just want to take your attention to something on my Facebook wall. One of the guys that has been sort of doing this and doing it on the New York session, he's been seeing fantastic results. From there, you can see on here, he's had a 40.39% growth using the 1 minute structure. And it's truly been a game changer for him just by watching the YouTube sessions and the analysis that I do. So again, from there, guys, what I'm doing and what I'm trying to implement is just giving you a baseline, a structure, a method, a strategy to follow, and then you can use and follow this via the YouTube, watch and rewatch the videos, bring a notepad and pen, do the structure yourself between your goalposts, look at how structures played out, and then see what you can work from there. Okay, so again, let's just see where we are. from this, we are risking, let's take a look. We are going to be risking 2% on the 5-min chart. Okay, so I'll leave that up there. We will be risking 2% at a time. Excuse me. And again, longer term structure, high, low. Let's just mark this out just so you know you got, again, your high. You've got a lower high. Again, you've got a lower high. From there, you had a swap over. Okay, shift to structure. So then this created a high. We've created again a high. We already came down to test this area, this order block, okay, spiked into it. And then what you've done is, because this here is a break of structure, because that is a break of structure, your target area as it comes out is this newer higher high. So to come in, it's come out within 10 minutes, to be fair. You've got a risk to reward of, let's have a look, 1 to 5.65. So again, 5.65 times that by 2. That was an 11.3 growth. That's 11.3%. Again, we haven't entered into this simply because what we've got is the starting time was 1 o'clock, but that just shows you the power of this. Again, we broke structure here. Okay, this now is where liquidity was residing. Okay, we had a break of structure from that standpoint. Okay, you've had a break of structure from there. So you're looking at 50% of this. There's your 50% there, long term. So look, that's your stop loss. Your new higher high is up to there. There's a 2.8. Let's just see if this plays out for us, guys, and then we'll take it from there. If not, again, don't worry. We are just factoring structure in with this, so hopefully you can sort of identify where we are with these, because we are now coming in and we've got a low. Okay, we've got lower highs. Sorry, do apologize. These are higher lows. Okay, get this in here. Higher lows, and then again you've got higher lows. So that's where we are structure wise. Again, we've entered in on here, and we can see if we are going to attain the level, which is where this has gone to. I'll do it to just on the tip there. We'll see this plays out. Structure wise, you can see where we are, and as we come down on the channel here, underneath this, these are obviously lower lows, and lower lows. Okay, now I'm hoping this is being very visual. It's helping you understand the structure from a downturn to an uptrend. Again, 11.3%. We'll see if this one plays out. If this one does play out to 2.67, so again 2.67 times by the 2 cuts 2%, that'll give you a 5.34 growth. We'll see what happens to this, see if it plays out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. It it's given us a fundamental aspect on how structure works. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back in a minute, and then we'll do this player by player based upon the range of what we are having on the higher highs, the higher lows, and things like that, until we break a structure, and then we switch or shift the momentum. Okay, so far so good. We'll see where we are in the next minute or two. Hi guys, bad cup, bad chest. So we're looking at this at the moment, and you'll see I've got the side-by-side stuff in at the minute. Okay, so whenever I go on here, you're going to see a crosshair on the left-hand side. Okay, so on the 1 minute, on this side, as I draw on here, you'll see on the right, it's going to draw as well. Okay, so just to show you this, you've certainly had a break of structure of this on the downturn. Okay, from there, the implementation of what we do based upon the 1 minute stuff is that there is around about where we would end it on this bit here. Okay, as you can see on the right, let's just see if we can implement some on here. So on the 1 minute, because you've had a break of structure, you're possibly looking at that to come back down if it was to enter, to be honest. So what we could do, see if we can kill two birds with one stone. We've got a 1 to 8.52% risk. We could see if we are going to sort of hit this area up here, with us in conjunction hitting a 1 minute entry on here, again risking 1%, risk 1%, 1 min chart. Okay, just make this a little bit smaller, so that there, that's what we have now. We'll just see if this comes in and plays, just out of curiosity. So instead of going to the higher high, I'm just going to test something, if that makes sense. I am testing the TP to be where the 1 minute entry would be based upon that 1 minute scalp. Again, if this was to come out on the left, it's just under a 4% growth. It'll be a 3.8%, and then if the 1% comes in on here, this will be a 2.5% on that one. See how this goes, see how it plays out, and then we will get back to the charts and things like that. This is a bit more of an advanced sort of technique. We're factoring in the 1 minute and 5 minute sort of stuff. I love testing new stuff just to see where we head with it. We'll see where this pushes us and where it takes us. Again, this is just solely just to show you structure and how things react to certain areas. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back in a moment. Hi guys, let's just take a look at the share. Again, remember this is just to teach you guys to look at structure and draw the structure out. Again, we're within structure at the moment of the high and the higher low. Unfortunately, it's breaking structure of this higher low at the moment, so this may push down and take us out. If it does, I've got this here as the next trade. This isn't the trade at the moment. If this is to stop us out, then I'll be looking for an entry on this side. Okay, from there, it sort of comes in conjunction with the 1 minute sort of thing, because you've got the order block there. But we'll see we'll see what happens if it does actually stop us out. I've got a feeling it will. There we are, it stopped us out. So from there we have a -2. Let's see if we get the pull back into this area here. put a bit of a buffer there. See, we'll get the return into that. Again, we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of what's on the 1 minute at the moment, just to clear this space up. Well, you can see from here, guys, we've had a break of structure here. We'll see if it coincides with the 5 minutes sort of area. Order block wise, we've halved this down. See if this comes up order block wise. We've got that there. It's coming nicely into the 50% of that. We'll see if it comes up and touches into the crosshair. I'll pause the video, see if it comes up. I'll be back in a second, guys. Once again there, let's just share the screen, talk a bit more about the structure on this. This is uploading for tonight, the video you just seen there. From there, guys, what we have, okay, just ignore the bit that's on the right. This is 1 minute, okay. This is the bit that we are concentrating on at the minute. We've come up and done higher lows, higher lows, higher highs, higher highs, high lows. We didn't quite get the shift to make a higher high, unfortunately. So we didn't get the TP that we wanted, okay, albeit if we come to here, we could have gotten a 3%, to be fair, simply because we times it by 2, 1.5. We didn't get it. We got the shift down, knocked us out, stopped us out. This is a -2. So therefore, we've halved the order block. Again, we should really be doing this. Okay, well, I'm going to do it from there, to be fair, because this is the 5 minutes. Excuse me. But again, I will just go with the halfway point. Again, this ties in nicely with the 1 minute break of structure, as you can see here, break of structure, waiting for the flag implementation to come back up into the order block area. If it does that on the 1 minute, there's a 3.73. Again, on this, you just times your 373 by that 2, it's around about 7.46 again. Again, we don't tend to get many trades within the 5 minutes, just like in the 1 minute. But if we'd been on that a little bit earlier, as you can see, implementing that there, this would have been on an 11.3% gain just prior to us starting on the 1 o'clock, which is a shame. Again, we'll see what happens with this. There's a big engulfing candle coming out and swooping down and taking out 3 lots of higher lows there. So the engulfing candle, hopefully we'll get that return back into the order block of the upper swing point of what is a lower high, because we're starting to bring the downturn, because we haven't pushed up. Okay, so again, we need to just keep bringing this down, bring down this line here. Okay, that's where, yeah, okay, we're bringing down the line, and it's not until we start getting the turn back in will this become a TP area. We're just continuously bringing down the line and seeing where we are from there. We've got another 1.5 minutes on the 5 minutes before we'll see any different candle. But structure wise, as we talk about structure, because that's what this is all about, you can see here between there and there was only price action for the sellers, so that's an imbalance area. Okay, and the more I do these little things, you can start drawing these out as well. So again, we may just simply get a return. We may just get a return up to here and then the push down. What we ideally want is the push up into the halfway of that order block, to be fair. We'll see what happens we'll continuously again move this down to coincide with the price action. 36 seconds on the one on the left, if you look on the chart, 33, 32, 31, 30. Getting pretty wicky, to be fair, with regards to that, the selling candles, and it's doing another drive. Push this down. So if this was to come in and hit our area and then come back down, you're looking at just over a 10% growth on the one trade. Well, again, there's the new candle coming in. We're waiting for a green candle to form before we can officially see that this would be the TP swing point area. Based upon the 1 minute, again, we broke structure from here. Let's have a look. So I don't really want to be changing that from there. We want to be, if you were to do that, very risky. That's very risky simply because we've got imbalance just above here. So again, that's a 1 to 4.2, a 1 to 1.42, sorry. So what we will do, we will just cancel that out, to be fair. Let's have a look, get rid of that, because the imbalance is riding above this swing point. So on a 1 minute aspect, it's not worth risking a 1% trade, if that makes sense. I'm going to pause the video and then we'll come back in the next 5 or 10 minutes. We're nearly at the halfway point. Hi guys, I'm just going to share the screen again. We'll come back into it. As you can see, the 1 minute imbalance is just above here. This is the imbalance on the 5 minute. We can now stretch this out to here and also have our TP here. So now we are looking at a 1 to 6.23. If we get the touch back up and then come back in, if I'm honest with you, I'm going to move this to the full order block. So that's a 3.87. Again, it's tying nicely just above the imbalance area, to be fair. So if this comes up to mitigate into the imbalance, there's a very good chance that it may actually touch into the full order block on here. A risk to reward of 1 to 3.69. If we were to get into that, again, let's get that, 3.69 times your 2. It's going to be around our 738 return. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll come back and return. Again, I'm just going to get rid of that 1 minute chart at the moment because I've got no interest in that at the minute. However, just to run you down with structure wise, just familiarize yourself with structure. You've got highs, you've got lower, you've got, get rid of that. In fact, we can do that there. So you've got highs, lower, 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 high, lower, 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 high. In essence, this here as well is also a lower, lower. Okay, and then from there, we've had a shift in motion. So what we've had a shift in motion, and then back on the downturn. So we've got as we've got the high, the lower low, the lower high, the lower low, the lower high, the lower low. We've then come up and broke structure from here. We broke structure from that, making a higher high from that area, being the lower high. Okay, so that's what's happened structure wise. We went into a bit slight of an upturn. In all honesty, it's possibly a consolidated area. From there, we got a high, 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 low, high, 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 low, and then we broke out of that to continue the move down. Okay, again, these are 5 minute risks. Just before the start of the session, just to remind you all, we did have an 11.3% gain. However, it wasn't within the time frame, but it's just to showcase what can happen. We then hit a 2% loss. From there, guys, we have done an impulse move, breaking all structure out of here. Okay, breaking all the structure out of here. We are now waiting for, let's have a look. We are now waiting for the moves back up to come down to then possibly come down and hit our area. Albeit, we do have imbalance areas and things like that. I just need to get rid of this bit here. We'll see if we can pull up and hit this imbalance. I do believe that this is just going to be on a downturn. It's been pretty high for a few days now, the USD/JPY, to be honest. But we'll see if we can get an entry on this, and then we'll take it from there. We are at the halfway point. It's 2 o'clock. I'm going to make me half-time cup of tea as I normally do. Hopefully, you are taking something out of this with regards to be able to draw out the structure yourself. These are not lessons to sort of take trades and things like that. Personally, I'm just structurally doing a play-by-play book on how structure is working between a time frame. If we can get in on an entry and a trade, then I will document it. Even if it's a loss, I will document it, and then we'll take things from there, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go make myself my half-time cup of tea. We'll be back in a moment. Hi guys, back once again. Halfway point, got myself my trusty Forex Fire mug. Again, if you want anything like that merch-wise, you can just go to my YouTube channel. On the banner on the far right-hand side top corner, you see a little green icon. Click on that, that'll take you to the store to support the channel and be able to get some merch, whether it's a hoodie, a t-shirt, a mobile phone cover, a mug. These mugs are fantastic. I love a nice big cup of tea. Some people like coffee, you could use it for that, but it's great to have a nice hot drink when you're trading. So with the sponsor that out of the way, let's take a look where we are. Sorry about that, guys. It's just obviously every little helps towards the support that I get towards the channel. So as you know, we've got our floor. Okay, we've got the swing point, the high and the lows. Okay, between that swing point, we've identified the highs, low highs, low lows, low highs, low lows, lower highs, and then we had a shift in momentum, breaking structure, as you can see in the arrow, ping to ping. We've got a higher high, breaking that into a higher low, because as we come down structure wise, we didn't break out of this. From there, it created another high low with an entry on here, okay, based upon 50% of this candle here. Fantastic entry. And then it rocketed up from out of what did break the structure to give a risk to reward of 5.33. Again, just bear with me, guys, just to make sure this calculation is correct. 5.33 times by the 2. Where did I get the 11 from? Where did I get that 11 from? 5.33 times by the 2. It's 10.66, you titty. Let's have a look. Let's make this bigger. So it's 10.66. 10.66% growth. Okay, that's where that would have been. Okay, from there, we came back in to test the break structure on here, see if we can get straight back in. We would have had a nice growth of 3% because we were targeting the higher side. Now, this is where your own judgment comes in, because on here is a structure, okay, as we've come down. You could have closed out half of the partial, okay? So it was a 1.5 at that point. That 1.5 would have equated into a 1.5% gain, okay? Which again, it's a good percentage, but we were targeting the higher end. I'm basing this upon structure to structure. So unfortunately, it came down and tanked out, okay? And it took out the high lows, high lows, high lows. And then the lower low, it's actually took out as well. So this is a big impulse move, Okay, we are anticipating a move back up. This here is an imbalance, so a wick from the lower high to the engulfing candle out of it. We've got the wick back in, but it wasn't enough to fill out the incompletion or the price inefficiency. So there's some contracts residing in here from a selling standpoint. So as we look into the future, this would need to be filled. We need to balance the books, sort of thing. So at some stage, we need to come back up to test that. It doesn't have to be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be next month. It could be next year. As long as price comes back into there, it will mitigate into this area at some stage, okay? As we pull out engulfing and taking out liquidity, because again, on an advanced level, liquidity resides on every single touch on the way up here, okay? Liquidity isn't just on a level like that. Trend lines hold liquidity. It just means each touch on the step ladder. So there's a step ladder, okay? And as you've gone bang, 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 up the ladder on each higher low to get towards this higher high, okay? Each rung of the ladder on the way up to this stage will hold liquidity on the way back down. So in essence, what we're looking at, liquidity side, it's the wick of the last swing point down. So this here is a swing point. This here is a swing point. This here is a swing point. So it's took out on its way back down. It had taken out that. It had taken out that. Let's get rid of that. It had taken out that swing point, okay, and then it actually came down and it took out that swing point. So all this drive down, this engulfing move down, took out 3 points of liquidity on the way down. Now it's coming back up. We have got an order block here. That there's an order block which we're residing. We've got a cushion just above that last lower high to protect that. We are anticipating hopefully a move back into the imbalance and bang, straight onto the entry point of this order block as it's coming back up to fill in the inefficiency of this area, okay? So again, it's a 3.69. Again, that's going to give us just over a 7% gain on a 2% risk. With that being said, let's just take a look. We are heading towards the 3 p.m. finish, okay? Again, it was a 2 p.m. It was a 1 o'clock start, wasn't it? 1 o'clock start. So overall, that's the rundown and the play-by-play book of the structure into the change of momentum into the impulse move on this way down. So if you were to look at this as an A, B, C, I mean, obviously you go here, there's your pullback, B, C, okay? So that's the overall bigger maneuver, okay? Now, if I just show you something based upon this, I did this morning explaining how you've got your swing points, and in between that swing point, you do have lower lows, lower highs. You've got intermediary price, okay? Now, if we were to go up time frames, okay, you'll see how the intermediary price becomes tightened into that field of play, go into the half hour, okay? You can see that's more or less about it. One move, one maneuver. We'll go up one more time frame. There we more or less have it, you see, down there. So you've got, go into the 4 hour. The 4 hour doesn't quite play it. So based upon the 5 minutes with them swing points, it's more or less giving you the high, the low, the higher high, and then the lower low, if that makes sense from an AVC standpoint. If you go back down to the 5 minutes which we're trading from, you'll see intermediary price, which is all these HHs, HLs, LLs, LHs. start to reappear, and they'll give you the intermediary price upon the shift of that path. Okay, so 15 minutes, and that's beautifully sort of integrated to that bigger time frame sort of thing. So just get rid of that. Again, we're heading down for a downturn. I'm going to stop the video, guys, and we'll be back before the end of play, and then hopefully talking about the structure and what I've done today on this is going to give you a little bit of a light bulb moment. It's all about identifying structure areas. It's not always about getting into trades. I am doing these for the sole purpose of helping you be able to understand the structure points and get you to start to do these sort of things with regards to when you create these lower highs. Okay, draw out a line. Okay, because it's like a stepping stone, the rungs of a ladder. As you step up to a higher point, draw a line. It gets a retracement, it goes up and breaks a structure, draw a line. Okay, and each time you do that, as that breaks that rung, you want to create a template and call that a break a structure, because when you get the retrace back into the 50% or into the order block of the previous low, your target area is the next rung up, if that makes sense. And I hope hope it's giving light bulb moments in here. Down to 5 minutes, because that's where we're trading from. Sorry, I do apologize. Now, what we can do is, if we break structure of this, we then need to be looking at that as a structure point. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes, see what happens. We still have around about 50 minutes or so left. Just checking my notifications. Right, so I'll be back in about 10-15 minutes, guys. I'm just going to stop the share and pause the video. Hi guys, we're coming towards the end again. Structure wise, we haven't had much shift in structure, to be fair. I mean, let's just take a look at within that time frame. There's been around about 29 pips of movement. If I'm honest, moving forward with this, I may change up the time a little bit. I may do it from around a 12 o'clock start. Do something like a 12 till 2. Again, it's all about shifting things up and seeing where it works. But the primary focus, as I say, is always about learning to draw structure points. Okay, so as just to close things out, because we're getting on to the last 15 minutes anyway. This here was the initial drive. Okay, we come down, we'll create a high, lower, 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 high, lower, 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 high, lower, lower. Liquidity. Okay, so liquidity was residing here at the time, just as we sort of close things out. So at the time of structure, let's just have a look at this, just see if I can do a bar replay. So as we play this out, okay, we can see we come down and we sort of create that lower low. And then it spikes up, goes into a lower high, because we haven't broke the structure of this. It continues down, it breaks the structure of this, as you can see from the crosshair, making thus a lower low. Okay, we come back towards play, and as we come back into play, we come back up. We don't break structure up here, so that's creating a lower high to this point here. As it comes up, you'll see it touch that crosshair. Okay, there we are, and a spike down the lower low, has liquidity. Okay, as we come up, we see a shift in momentum. This is the lower low. However, as we are coming down, we start to not make any further lower lows. So we don't break structure here. We come up from the top side, we break that with this here, giving us a higher high. So this brings us the area of interest on an entry. We get that entry to perfection, and we get the tap out of the higher high break structure. And as it continues, we make a new higher high. Unfortunately, we were concentrating on this as an order block, we had this here down here. Let's just fill this out. And as we come down, it taps into it. But as it taps into it, it jumps up and it would have given us a 1 to 1.5, okay? But then it comes out and it spikes us down like that, knocks us out on both liquidity, but not only liquidity on this side, there was a shift in momentum, a massive shift in momentum, because it takes out liquidity on 3 higher lows and even the lower low, okay? We start to come back up into the footprint of imbalance, and then we more or less catch up with where we are. As it plays out, we'll let it continue. We'll just wait to go, and you can see it's wicking into these areas, and that's where we reside on price at this time. So that's a rundown, a play-by-play from the structure points, an explanation on these structure points. We would have had a 10.66. However, let's just have a look at this. We'll put this as a -2 because it wasn't within my time frame. Going to be opening honest, guys. Okay, got a -2 there, and we'll continue to do this. I'm opening honest with things like this. Again, from an aspect of where we're trading, we're now at 1/4 okay? We're now at 1/4. So the momentum and the shift for me might be a case of that order block there to that there, but again, we've got liquidity residing on these little bits of spikes. So the cover you might be on there. We've got the push out, short position on there to here. Again, this would depend on what is going to happen on price on the downside. We're just going to get this because liquidity's taken there. This then becomes the template of break of structure. Okay, we'll see if price will reside inside of this. From there, guys, we can mix it up. Okay, we can mix it up and bring the 1 minute back into play for a second here. Okay, let's just take a look. That's going to be the play at the minute. From a minute aspect, there's nothing really played out from the minute. It didn't come back into play. It's been testing from there. Break structure wise, implementations from there. It would be from this area here. Okay, that's the structure. The minute will be that player there, but we are going to be playing it from the 5 minute. Okay, the 1 minute. That's your 1 minute entry. Okay, it's out. That there is the 1 min entry. So that's a refined. That's the refined area. Okay. We have still got 10 minutes. We'll see if this plays out. We'll keep an eye on it, and then we'll take it from there, guys. Okay. So again, I'm going to stop the video, but we've still got 10 minutes to go. We'll see if something comes into play, touches us in and knocks us out. We've got a, at the moment, structure wise, because that is the lowest part area at the minute, it's a 1 to 1.53. Let's see what happens. See, we'll get a touch and knock out. If it does, it's going to be just over 3% gain, but it's got to be within my time frame. Again, I try and keep my trades within that a lot of time for the video purposes. Okay, normally, because I got asked this today, normally if it goes after the time and I'm still in a trade, I will manage that trade to the best of my ability to then get out at the best time or see if it hits TP. Once that trade has either been invalidated or I'm comfortable with a profit, I will close it out. I stop the trading for the day. That's just to answer a few of the questions that I've been getting once we go into an overlapping of trading. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, guys, and from there we'll come back at 3 o'clock for the end of day result and see what's going on, and then I'll give a conclusion and a little bit of a chat on further things that's happening down the line. Okay, thank you very much. So we're at that time of day, conclusion time. Again, I will manage this trade after the 3 o'clock, but we do tend to close things out before 3. I'll let you know what happens with this. Again, everything finishes for 3 on the video, that is. We just got the rundown. Hopefully you've taken something out of today with regards to play-by-play, excuse me, on structure and how to identify these areas. Obviously from there, I've implemented the 5 minutes on here, but also this will be the 1 minute entry area based upon candle structure and things like that. So we've got 2 minutes. Just going to see what happens while this plays out. 2 minutes. Once it's to 3 o'clock, that's it for me for the day, me for the week. And I hope you are all enjoying what I'm putting together. Today's been a very busy day, to be fair, with regards to being Friday, because not only have I done the 1 minute scalping this morning, I've done the Forex Fire Friday weekly vlog. That'll be uploaded as well soon. And once this is finished, this will be stopped and then encoded, and this will be sent into the group. So Fridays are my busiest days, most definitely. But I love doing what I'm doing. And what makes it even sweeter is the fact of, let's take a look where we at. Where we at? That'll be down on here. Peter, shout out to Peter. I know Peter watches these things, watches my stuff. He's been absolutely massively crushing this. Let's take a look where we at. Strategy. There we are. So since he started trading the powerful 1 minute strategy over the last couple of weeks, he's been turning up, taking notes and implementing the stuff. He's ended his September with a massive growth of 40.39%. Let that sink in. With the structure that I'm showing you, okay, it doesn't matter if you get in a trade or if you don't get a trade for that structured time frame, okay? It stops the greed completely. You just understand that you're doing it from here to here. Whatever happens in there, happens in there. What happens outside of it, you just take yourself away from the charts. And Peter's been doing that. And he's a shining example to exactly what this strategy and what this approach can do. 40.39% growth. Again, he's admitting that he's done it on demo, and we urge everybody that when they're coming to do this, this is a stress-free environment to be able to implement and sort of take notes and sort of practice this sort of stuff. So he's done 40.39% growth on this. Super impressive, absolutely amazing. Again, he's in a different time zone to myself, I do believe. He's in the EST. So it's 5 hours difference to the UK. 40 point, I can't get over that, 40.39%. It blows my 23.84% out of the water. So massive well done to Peter. And again, he's getting congratulations from everybody on here. And that's what this is about overall. Let's go back to the chart. There we are. We wouldn't have been in this anyway because the 3 o'clock, it was bang on the 3 o'clock. So lucky enough, we weren't in it. Again, I'll keep tabs on this simply because it might come up to meet the criteria of this here, which then would have given just under an 8%. Again, my name has been John Docherty. I do these to help people understand structure and things like that on the charts. There's no need for softwares and tools and things like that. I hope you are enjoying the stuff that I'm doing out there. Just going to stop the share just so it takes the noise away. I'm just going to make my head a little bit bigger there. So yeah, overall, fantastic week. I love what I'm doing. We've got so much engagement in this area, and I do thank everybody that is involved with this. I do put this out to YouTube as well. So if you have not got access to this area yet, there is a button just below here that says join. Okay, show a little bit of love, show a little bit of support. Please click on one of them, pick one of the two. It does help with regards to content, me being able to do much more for this Discord, and I do appreciate each and every one of you guys that are watching on a day-to-day basis. And I also want to give a big shout out to my moderators as well. The moderators that are in this group, they do a fantastic job with regards to support and everything else. Okay, so much more to come, exciting times ahead. And as we go into the later stages of 2021, we're now in October, things will start slowing down going into sort of back into November, December time. All the banks will start be winding down. We will then be going into 2022, and I've got big plans. Hopefully the goals, aspirations and targets that I'm setting myself, I'll have some of those boxes ticked off. If I do get those boxes ticked off, there's so much more coming that I can implement into my next stage and procedure to help you guys. Okay, so again, please give it the thumbs up, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and please engage. Drop your comments below and let me know what you think of these little sessions. Is it helping you? Is there something more you need a little bit of help with? You can just leave a comment below. Maybe it's something for a future video I can do or put in place. And from there, if you are getting value, please, please, please click that join button and just set yourself up as a Spark or a Fire member. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all later.